Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Anti-Think Tank. This is episode 4, and I am your host, Justin. I am, fuck. You know what? Leave it in. I'm always, as always, I am joined by my two co-hosts. Introduce yourself, boys.
My name is Ryan Ingram. I am the one that usually says bullshit on here and makes our editor want to kill himself. Probably right there, too.
That's very fair. All right, Ian, you.
My name is Ian. I'm coming for the Grammys.
That's, you got tough competition. You have to go against Young Cash Register, a.k.a. Little Broomstick.
Bro, he ain't nothing. Just wait until I drop my new mixtape. Go on, though.
All right, so I wanted to start off this episode with a topic that I feel like we should have discussed beforehand, because only a few people actually care to know this. But let's talk about how we became friends.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so me and Ryan personally, we go way back, like, was it 13 years?
Yeah,
14?
About 4th grade, so.
Yeah, 4th grade, and I tell the story to other people that you're a bully to me, but that's not true.
So you just been lying on me for fucking years. Alright. I'll remember this. Go on.
Anyway. Yeah, like, I think we first met in 4th grade. We had our nice little friend group. And then, as years go by, we had some classes we didn't have. And high school, though, was the years, my good sir, where we saw each other almost every day.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when we graduated, I just stopped talking to you.
Yeah, like, basically, we had, like, this really close-knit friend group from, like, I would say, like, 8th grade up to graduation of high school, and then for, like, a good year and a half, maybe 2 years, just nothing. Like, no contact between almost anyone. Like, me and Chance spoke to a certain extent, and you were off doing your own thing. I went to Jacksonville State University for, like, a year and a half before dropping out of that shit. And then finally, we all, like, got back together and went to, a Buffalo Wild Wings, and then got in contact through that. And it was fucking weird, because immediately after that, another 6 months went by with nobody fucking talking to one another.
Yeah, like as we mentioned in the first episode, like, I tend to disappear. I don't know why. I tend to work a lot, and my focus is on work. Speaking of work, that is how me and good Ian met. Ian, do you want to tell the story how that went?
It was a long time ago. I was a broke bitch. I didn't have no money, no responsibilities. I didn't have nothing, man. And then one day, my dad was like, son, you need to get a job. And I was like, well, Dad, why? And he was like, well, you can't just sit around playing Paper Mario all day. And I was like, you know what, you're right. So I went to Taco Bell. I was there for 2 years. Then I quit. And then I was like, I'll never work in this business again. I'll never go back to the food industry. And then I went right back to the food industry. I went to work at Arby's. And it was there that I met one of my closest, most personal friends, Mr. Justin here. And there we shared many a laugh, good friends. Many a laugh. He was my manager. What started off as a friendship between a new employee just working at the register and a manager slowly became, well, it more devolved. It more devolved into less of an employee-manager type thing, and more, we were both actively making the business worse.
Okay, so one of the funniest things I remember from us working together was, okay, so we're both big fans of Red Dead Redemption, and there's this one series on YouTube called Sauce for Loss, which is made by a shitpost YouTuber. I forgot his name now. I think he changed his name, too.
He changed his name. His name used to be, I think, Disgusting Supernova, and he changed it to, Appalachian something?
Appalachian Menace. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's it.
And all throughout work, okay, so for those who don't work fast food, you lucky few, drive-through headsets, you have one button to speak to the speaker outside to take people's orders, and there's one button in the middle that communicates with all the headsets in the store. And me and Ian would always have these headsets, and we would always fucking quote the Saucer Law series.
And there would be occasional times in which I would get the button wrong, and I realized that I had just quoted like a random shitpost YouTuber to someone outside waiting for their family pack. And it was great.
I remember one time, what was it? You're like, what was it? Oh, they said, can I get some Arby sauce? And I was like, oh yeah, John, give him that sauce. And then you try to respond back with like, oh yeah, get it, Dutch, and you send it to them.
Dude, it was it got to a point where like you made a joke one time of, oh, I hope they don't I hope the corporate doesn't keep any records of these like conversations. And I think you were like joking or something about like the audio being kept, but like that stuck out in my mind, and eventually I just quit because of the idea of our boss walking in and being like, so I trusted y'all to close the store. I look at the cameras and I see Ian has a shirt over his head.
So,
That's a canon event, by the way. It was great. It was such a great time, and ever since then we've been in pretty constant contact. And when he said he wanted to do a podcast, I knew I had to drop everything.
So basically, you had a big worry about one day corporate just showing up and being like, so the guys outside asked for some Arby's sauce, and you yelled at a family of 4, and I quote, "Throw as much sauce in their mouths as possible, you dirty slut."
Dude, that's not even all that far off. Like I don't exactly, like, the money wasn't good. There's some things I didn't like about the job, but we closed. So at Arby's, like, we close at 11, but we still have tons of cleaning to do. And a lot of times we have like tons of stuff to do. So there would be nights we wouldn't get out of there until 2:00 in the morning. And I would not have lasted like the 8 months I did at that job if I wouldn't have had such a good friend.
Yeah, like the nights where like there was a big fear that corporate was going to come in, do an AR inspection, and our boss would tell us to hey, I need you guys to make sure the store gets detail cleaned. I'm like, well, we can't stay here all night. He goes, I mean, I ain't saying you can't. I'm like, what? So we're there at 2:00 in the morning. Whole store looked great and nice and everything. The very next day, corporate doesn't come in at all. So we wasted our fucking time.
It was awful. There was so much stuff that pissed me off about that job. But I do remember one time there was a big boss, huge boss that was supposed to come in, and we were goofing around. He was supposed to be there at like 5, and he wasn't there at 5, so it was like 6:30. We figured he wasn't coming in, so we commenced to goofing. We got to goofing real quick, and I was like asking Justin, like, Justin, it's been an hour and a half. He's probably not coming. Can I get to goofing? Can I start goofing around? Because I don't want to take this job seriously. And eventually he did come in, and it was like 45 seconds after I had my shirt over my head, and I just imagined he walks in, I turn around and look at him. Who the hell are you?
He did look and goes, who are you?
Dude, like, it was great. Like I said, that pay was terrible. I got like $7.25 an hour for the most physically, like, mentally demanding, stressful, multitasking garbage that I've ever done in my life. It was not worth the money, but I'll never forget the memories.
I'll never forget this one moment, though. You got really pissed off because, what was? Oh, your first, like, week there, and, we constantly, scrub behind the fryers and get the grease cleaned up and whatnot.
Oh, my God.
And the manager, I ain't gonna say his name, that, directed you to do that, he told you to go on your hands and knees with a scrub pad to get the grease off the floor. And, like, when I first saw you doing that on your own, I'm like, no, you can get the squeegee, the scrubber, then you can stand up and scrub. And your face turned fucking white. You're like, what the fuck?
That day is actually very important to me because I was a corporate bitch slave for most of my life, like from the age of like 14 until 19. I did anything a manager told me to do. So when he told me to literally like get down on the ground and scrub the grease off the ground with a tiny ass sponge he got from Walmart, I was like, yeah, sure, sir, no problem. Oh my God. And then you told me that and I was like, wait a minute, this whole like work thing, this whole like all of this it's bullshit. So yeah, it really got my goat, as it were. I hated that.
So that dude just made you get on your hands and knees and scrub shit for the sexual thrill of it, huh? Like,
I guarantee
you have no idea, buddy.
Like he just went back home and started slow stroking it like, man, I've got so much power over these fucking people. They don't even know.
Dude, I mean, like, seriously, dude, there are some managers that are completely terrible people and just love to get off on the power they have over people, and I refused to ever be like that again.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I know.
But of course, how this friendship became the three of us. After my 6-month hiatus, I finally made back friends with Ryan. We hung out, and then of course I'm like, "Yo, Ryan, guess what? I got this cool guy named Ian. You guys want to hang out?" And I think the first day you guys met, I think y'all talked more to each other than talked to me. So I was like, okay.
It was a
me
good day.
and-
It was
yeah,
like,
me and Ian brain, and then our minds just fucking melded, and we started shit posting in languages you couldn't understand.
oh, dude, that was a great day. That was last October, actually. That's been a full year. That is wild.
and
I
now we
remember it was
talk every day?
October. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
remember
went
it was October
fucking-
because we went like to the woods or something.
Yeah, we went to some fucking haunted location to like get ghost activity and shit.
Oh my.
And
Which,
then
by
all
the
of a
way,
sudden-
Ian got fucking haunted.
Yeah.
Oh no, I actually I mentioned last podcast that I have some spooky topics for October. My house is haunted, and it started with a situation that just got mentioned, and I'm going to save that for my topic later on next time I host.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
We can share spooky stories together because I'm pretty sure that unless it's the schizophrenia, then my place is fucked up too, so.
Yeah. We're all just
It's
like
not-
living in a
it's not
gaggle
that-
of phantoms.
Like,
It's not that because Ryan has sent me like videos of like knocking coming from somewhere, and he's like, I don't know where it's coming from, man.
You're like, oh, maybe
me
it's a
hiding-
cat. Maybe it's it's
for-
just Ian in my fucking wall.
No, I'm in the fridge. Remember, I'm in the old fridge.
Moving on, boys. Since we're talking about fast food, Ryan, you've worked in customer service, right?
Retail and fast food, yeah.
All right. Let's share our worst customer experiences in these in these events.
Boyd,
Oh yeah, dude, yeah.
I will go ahead and let you two take the stand.
Ian, you want to go first, or you want me to?
Dude, apparently my brain is actually fried because I was about to say you want to rock paper scissors for it. I don't think that would work over Discord.
Go. I win.
Okay, I'll go. Oh, you want to go?
All right. So I have like 3 that pop out of the top of my head. The first one was like the first day I went to work at a place. Like all of my stories are going to be from a place called because whenever I worked at a fast food location called Jack's, a regional like hamburger location in Alabama, I pretty much just worked away from the public there. Most of my issues with that place come from management and my coworkers. But the first day that I was there, so how this works is it's an Amazon offshoot. They get the excess, like the returns to Amazon that they can't put back onto the market, but they still want to make a buck, so they send to these locations to sell for dirt cheap, and then they split the profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, day number 1 that I'm there, this place has been open like 2 months. This father walks up to me and hands me says, "Can you talk to your manager about this? It looks like a vagina." And then hands me an auto masturbator
No.
that had been returned through Amazon, and which means that somebody found an issue with the product, by the way. And so I had to walk up to the owner, like, it was like a single location at the time, or like a couple of locations. So the guy who owned the store, the entire company, is there at the time. And I have to be the dude on the floor to walk up to the owner of the company and say, "Hey, where do I put this, like, basically own a hole where it, like, jerks you off? Where do I put it?" And he looks me dead in the eye and says, "Go put it in the toy section."
What?
So I'm torn at this point because this is like not the CEO but the owner of the company, the guy who has 100% ownership over this company, barring like some shares from like Amazon or some shit. And I have to talk to him like, "Okay, I can put it somewhere, but I don't think the area where the toys are is gonna be good, because when you think toys, you think like, you know, a toy gun, a Barbie doll. The first thing that jumps out to your mind isn't the rotary Glock 9000, you know, like." And so I go like just throw it in a random fucking bin, and just forget about it for a couple of hours until another customer comes up and starts asking questions about it.
Dude,
And,
what?
yeah, they start asking, like, so where did you get it from? Is it, like, does it come with batteries? I'm like, dude, I don't know. Stop trying to talk to me about the auto masturbator.
Please.
At what speeds does it go that would, satisfy my my
Oh, this is a
Yes,
fat
my-
guy, too. Like, this is, like, you can tell he was interested in this product. He was sweating a little bit.
God.
Like, I'm
You
just...
could tell that he'd already named it Margaret.
Yeah, like,
this dude was ready to pay for in Reddit Gold.
like...
Man
He's
had his
heavily,
Robux.
he's just sort of heavily fucking breathing, talking to me. I'm like, dude, like, I know you just want to buy the fucking thing. Just go wash it and like, do whatever you want. Like, I don't care. And
Oh
so,
my god.
Like, I'd tell him that and basically just go about my day. And later on, the person who's over the fucking, like, cash register, walks over to me. She's like a 17-year-old girl. And says, so there was this fat guy with this really weird item that I couldn't tell. Do you know what the fuck that was? And I didn't have it in my heart to like look her in the
To
eye
tell
and say,
her.
like I couldn't fucking tell her that she just sold a sex toy to some sexual fucking predator.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was day one, or like either day one or like a week after I started. It's been a couple of years since I've fucking worked there, and like another 2 since that happened. Another one was, like, they sold just random fucking items in that store, right? One of them was, they decided to put out a fucking, like, training crossbow with the arrows, just with the other items. And so, like, a 6-year-old child got a hang of it. And, like, he started loading it in the middle of the fucking store and aiming it around.
Whoa.
And so I walk up and, like, like, take it out. It's like, no, you can't do that in the store. That's a fucking weapon. I don't care if it has training tip rubber arrows. There are old people in here. They're like, I'm in here. I don't want to get shot. Or loosed with a fucking
Jesus
arrow, you know?
Christ.
Oh my god.
His dad walks up and is like, why are you, like, talking down to my son? I'm like, because he was waving a weapon around at the store. You can't do that. You gotta pay attention to him. And the dad gets, like, really offended that I'm talking to his son like he's doing something wrong, waving a fucking crossbow around a store. Like, sir, I don't know what to tell you. Just don't let your kid wave around a crossbow in the store.
And then we wouldn't have these kinds of problems.
And so he finally gets the message. He put, like, I put the fucking crossbow back down on the thing, and then, like, 10 minutes later, I see little Tyke running around the store again and looking at me with the crossbow in his hands.
Oh my god, dude.
I'm just like, I'm just gonna walk away from this shit. And
I'm about to get Daryl Dixon. Like, I don't get paid enough for this.
like,
Now I'm gonna just stand back from this shit before shit gets real.
Oh my god.
and
That's wild, dude.
the third one is the most egregious. It's not like a customer interaction, but it's the time that my boss gas chambered me.
Okay.
What?
Did I ever tell you about this, Justin? I told like a couple of our fucking friends I know.
That's my first time hearing it.
All right, so you know what happens when you combine bleach and ammonia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some guy had blown up the fucking bathroom. Like, it had turned into a scene from which I will not describe. And I refused to go in there, right? I just blatantly fucking refused. And so one of our fucking coworkers had a great idea to, like, pour bleach in there to get rid of the smell from, like, what he did. Like, it was already cleaned up, but the smell was there, so she poured fucking bleach in there, right?
Oh,
Okay.
I know this now. Okay, I know this now.
Still going on, so she wants to get rid of it more, and she pours fucking ammonia in there. And obviously, this creates a chemical reaction.
It's called tear gas.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
or tear gas or mustard gas.
mustard gas is the main thing.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
Bro.
so I'm walking by, I smell this shit, and my fucking lungs start burning. I'm like, okay, we need to, like, clean this shit up. And so my boss, in all of his glory, Doesn't tell me what the fuck happened. Then he just hands me a bucket and a mop and just says, "All right, go in there and like clean it up a little bit." And so this is a tiny ass room with a shit ton of mustard gas in it that I'm having to mop up on repeat. And I basically like go out and I'm like cursing to myself loudly. Oh fuck! Like dying. And I basically tell him, like, we need to evacuate the store. There's a chemical fucking like issue in the bathroom. And he starts blaming me, like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, no, like, we need to get people out of here. There's a big issue, and like my eyes are like bloodshot. I'm coughing in between breaths. I just walk outside and like curl up on the fucking pavement, holding my chest, ready, like seeing Jesus come out. You all right down there? You got like 10 minutes, dude. And his fantastic idea. Keep in mind, the bathrooms are at the end of a hallway, right? Like a hallway that then like it's just the bathrooms, the hallway, and then it turns back around and you go back into the store. His idea to get rid of the chemicals was to get just a big fan and point it at the bathrooms.
What?
Oh my god.
Dude.
And that would get rid of the fumes. And he did not tell anyone, any single person, how this, how this was going, or how it was going to go. He did not tell anybody. He just basically put up a sign saying that the bathrooms, like, don't go near them, and then put up the fan. And I'm telling him, no, we need to shut down the store for at least an hour and, like, air it out. He just kept it open. And, like, I had to work through the rest of the fucking day. And I'm just, like, looking around at, like, people were occasionally coughing, like, dude, like, holy shit.
This is, like, that... I'm surprised he didn't get sued.
The only reason I didn't file a lawsuit was because I was making minimum fucking wage and I can't afford a lawyer.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, you have a store where you got gassed at your job, Justin.
Oh, that's different. Okay, yeah, that's... Yeah, we had a propane leak.
What? That's
Yeah,
wild.
we had a English motherfucker. We had a propane leak at our store, and yeah, like we had to evacuate, and we had to call the fire department to go check it out. And they got there and they said, "Oh, it's fine. Like, there's no gas leak in here." But we want a second opinion, so we also called Remco, which is the it's kind of the I know what I'm not sure what they are, but they come and help like plumbing issues and piping for everything. And they came in there, and the first thing he said was like, "Yep, there it is. The leak's right there." While the fire department was like, "Oh, it's fine. Don't worry."
There'll be no problem. A couple of people might die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Oh my god.
There's one more customer interaction. It's like an actual customer interaction. So there was a big fucking hurricane that came through Alabama like a couple years ago. And obviously whenever it came through, it like fucked up shipping, right? And how this works is like on Friday it's $7, then it just goes down to eventually being 50 cents on Wednesday, and then it's closed Thursday with a restock. Well, it was closed on the Friday because of the hurricane, and so the whole week just got pushed back one day. And a customer like ran up to me and was like, "They're trying to make me pay $7 up at the front of it. And the sign out front says on Saturdays it's $5. That ain't right." And I looked at her and I'm like, yeah, because shipping got delayed a day due to the hurricane, and so we had to push back the schedule, and we're not allowed, and we're basically just moving everything a day back. Don't worry, by Wednesday it'll be normalized. And he starts like accusing me of like trying to steal from him. Like, dude, let me tell you this real quick. If I made the money that these guys did on every fucking sale, I wouldn't have to worry about dealing with you right now. I could just fucking hire a security agent to beat your ass and drag you out. Like, I don't...
You're not wrong.
I don't know why some customers just think that, like, I, the random fucking employee number 1985, gives such a shit about what pricing schedule it has. Like, in my opinion, yeah, it's a bit fucked up to just take the $2 off and then keep going from there. You don't have the logistical nightmare. But Like, I basically just gave him the corporate answer that I was given, and he acted like I was trying to fucking rob him. And, yeah. But
Because
at the time...
customers always want someone to blame.
Yeah. At the time, though, I was, like... In all honesty, I was about to go on lunch break. It had been, like, 4.5 hours into my shift. I just wanted, like, a fucking hot dog and a Coke. And so, like, I was looking at him, and I just blatantly said, dude, I really don't give a fuck. Like, just leave me the fuck alone. I don't care.
Very honest.
Good for
very
you,
honest
man.
answer.
I definitely, I feel like anyone out there who's never had to work a retail job, just consider you have no idea how lucky you are.
Granted, I will say retail is so much better than fast food. Like, retail is hell, fast food is like super hell.
I actually want to redact my statement a little bit. With the idea of what I was trying to say, I was definitely getting at. I mean, I feel like any kind of like customer interaction type job sucks, but like, as someone who's worked in like a retail job for the last like year, it is so much better than the like 3 years I spent in fast food.
Alright, Ian, what's your worst customer service experiences?
All right, let's go. Okay, I got a couple. I'll try to rush through them really quick. Let me think. Taco Bell, there's not much. That one, not a whole lot happened there. Arby's, on the other hand, I got some bangers. All right, I got some bangers. Let's go. The one that sticks out in my mind the absolute most was Justin, I assume you remember the Arby's mac and cheese incident, do you not?
I know that we used to sell mac and cheese at Arby's, but I'm not sure about the incident. What was the incident?
Okay, so essentially, we started selling this mac and cheese for like 3 months or whatever, and this guy comes through. He looks like very scraggly. All right, he's got like a pretty long beard. He's got long beard. I think he has some glasses on. Pretty long hair and everything. He comes through in a very busted up, old looking car. Gets up. He's already like kind of giving me some weird looks. He's like looking at me, like staring at me a little bit, and I'm out of the corner of my eye, and I just am trying my best not to look at him. I have the window closed for most of the time just so I don't interact with this person because he's freaking me out. He's looking at me, he's looking at me like a doggone schnack. I'm scared. All right. Eventually, all he wanted was mac and cheese. All he wanted was a little bitty bowl of mac and cheese. Eventually, I give it to him. I take the bag and I hand it to him, and he says thank you. And then he looks at it. He looks back at me. He looks at it. He looks back at me. Takes out the little bowl of mac and cheese. Takes it, looks at me dead in the eyes and says, "This is not a joke. I'm not messing with you. I will give you $7 if you take off your shoe and your sock and you put your foot in this mac and cheese."
Oh my god, I remember this shit now.
Man told me he'd been working up the courage. He'd been looking at me. He didn't want to make it awkward. He specifically said, "I don't want to make it awkward or anything. I need someone's foot in this mac and cheese, and you're just in my direct line of sight. Please, good sir, $7."
I feel you could at least push that to a 20.
That's the thing is we tried telling him that. We're like, right, you know, we understand it's kind of weird and whatnot, but hey, man, like you could have pushed it to 20 or at least 50.
No, like I'm not going to entertain this man. Everyone there was like, yeah, I mean it's weird, but like I mean, get some money out of it. I am not becoming a mac and cheese foot whore. Okay, I refuse. I don't need money that bad.
A mac and cheese foot whore.
The fact that he lowballed you that hard that he thought that you would just break a fucking law. Like for $7, just violate the fucking the health
Geneva
codes of Alabama. We can do
No,
it
no,
out back,
no.
I swear.
No. For me, the fact about it is that he knew. He had to have known I was only making $7.25 an hour. So he was like, I will give you an extra hour's worth of pay if you make my day right now.
I just really want to taste your feet on the macaroni.
I want to be able to like, dude, imagine I do it and he's like taking bites and he's like doing like commenting on it like a fine wine. Like, I'm getting tastes of mac and cheese. I'm getting notes of foot in here. There's definitely some foot.
Y'all had a callus on there since you were like 16, didn't you?
Fun fact: that man is now currently in the state penitentiary.
That man has been in jail for years. I can only hope so. Because you know that that's not the only time he's done it. Because the way he phrased it in such a way to where it's like, someone was going to have to do this. You just happen to be here. It's nothing personal. Give me your foot. No,
It's nothing against you.
No, like, should I be slightly like flattered that he chose me to like garnish his food to give him seasoning?
Dude, do you think that the fucking prostitutes that got by Jack the Ripper were like, man, I'm glad he chose me.
I'm so honored that this knife is in my stomach now.
Hell no.
Oh my god. No, that was terrible. That was a great one. No, I'm really glad that story won't die with me. I'm glad that story's on the internet forever now. So anyway, that was a good one. The only other one that I can think of off the top of my head that really stands out, it actually happened fairly close to that. It was just a couple of months later. And once again, the story has a similar ending with everyone saying, "Well, Ian, why didn't you take advantage of it?" Because I'm not a mac and cheese foot whore, you fool. All right, listen.
Before you say anything, I think I might know this one.
Oh yeah, dude. All right, let's go. All right. So I'm gonna cut all of the like build up because it's the same as the last one. Picture the build up from last time with like all the weird looks and everything, like looking over me, trying not to look at the person. Only this time, replace it with a woman, like a 30-something-year-old woman and her like very similar looking, like 35-year-old or whatever boyfriend. The boyfriend is in the passenger seat, girl is in the driver's seat, and they ordered like $28 worth of food, like a significant amount of food. And they were looking at me, and I heard them like whisper some things to each other, like I just heard like little buzzwords like cash and money, expensive, stuff like that. I got the idea before they even decided to pay that they did not have enough money to pay. Little did I know they had some plans. So I open the thing and I say it's going to be $28. The lady looks at me. She looks at me dead in the eyes. There was an emotional connection. There was a soul bond here. I look at her. I try to look away. I'm trying not to look at the boyfriend because I'm scared. And she looks at me and she says, "Listen to me, honey. Listen to me. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not have the money to pay for this. But I do have titties. I will lift up my shirt and flash you if you pay for this food."
Oh my god, I remember this shit.
And I look, and my immediate response is I look over at the boyfriend. And he is nodding. Like, yep, yeah, there's some good ones, He's like, I know for a fact, son. You're getting a good deal on this one, boy.
Ma'am, I hate to put it to you like this, but you've gone through menopause and those saggy pieces of shit wouldn't get you 15.
They wouldn't even get you a couple of Buffalo sliders. I'm going to keep it real with you, G.
Like, in all honesty, you'd have to pay me to do that.
Oh, good lord.
Man, it was terrible. And I kind of look at him and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. and the guy looks at me and he kind of like shakes his head, and then he takes out his wallet and pulls out like 2 20s. So they did have the money. Pays for it. I tell everyone in the store is like, "Ian, that was a good deal. I'm like, a good deal? A good deal? How down bad do you think I am?"
This is a random fucking mid-30-year-old woman and her boyfriend. They were swingers. Like, they weren't after the fucking roast beef sandwich here. They wanted me out back, alone, weak, vulnerable.
After a 12-hour shift.
Dude, they probably they were probably eating that fucking family meal in the goddamn parking lot, like looking over their shoulder, waiting for you to take out the fucking trash or some shit.
Jesus.
Oh man!
All right,
it was wild.
All right, let me speed through mine real quick. I have 2 also that are very notable. One was a complaint that I had from a customer. Now let me set the scene here for you. And the scene here is we are slammed to shit, and like this one lady orders, I think, 2 classic roast beef meals, and I don't put anything on the trays until the food is ready, because, when you make the sandwich, you put it on a hot bar, and they'll sit there and get warm till you're ready to hand out to the customer. Well, one manager decided, you know what, I'm going to take these sandwiches, I'm going to put them on the tray away from it, and I'm gonna wait till the fries get done. So the sandwiches are getting cold as fuck while the fries are cooking, right? Fries are
Yes.
done anyway. I scoop the fries up, hand to the customer. She walks away. She comes back. She goes, "Excuse me." I go, "Yes, ma'am. What's the problem?" She's like, "The sandwiches are cold." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Like, do you want me to, do you want to replace that for you with the hotter sandwiches?" She goes, "No." I'm like, "Okay. Do you want a refund?" "No." Then what the fuck do you want? Why'd you
want me to eat it?
complain?
Do you want me to eat it in front of you?
Like that's
Like,
the fact that in my years of customer service, that's the shit that's the shit that pisses me off the most is the ones that say, "Hey, yeah, you fucked up. I don't want you to fix it. I'm just gonna tell you fucked up."
No, like it's just bitterness. It's ridiculous, especially when like there's clearly two dialogue options: make it fresh or give me my money back. Those are your two dialogue options.
Like I even offered you your money back. I can give you the money back. Like what do you want from me? And she's just like, "I just want you to know they're cold." And she walks away. And I'm like, "Okay, thanks. My life is
I don't really see a fucking issue. In all honesty, 'cause it's just like I just wanted to let you know that they were cold, and, like for future people. Like, I don't want to cause an issue here, but like.
But the
I
issue is
disagree.
that she walked up to the counter with a pissy look on her face, and she was like outright mad. And I understand.
Oh,
I understand that. I totally
so-
get that.
It wasn't like I don't want to cause an issue here, but they were cold, so just make sure going forward that you do it. It was like, look, motherfucker, my sandwiches were goddamn cold. Well, what do you want to do about it? Nothing.
That's the thing.
Absolutely
She was-
nothing.
She was so fucking pissed about it. I'm like, "Well, ma'am, I'm sorry about that. Can I remake the sandwiches?" By the way, she says she didn't want it remade because it would take too long. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, a classic
is
roast beef
Arby's.
sandwich from Arby's is just slicing off 3 ounces of meat and putting it in a fucking bun. That's it.
It takes 14 seconds.
It takes no time, and I offered to remake it for her. She said no, and I said, "Okay, no problem. I can just refund you the money." "No, that's fine." I'm like, "Okay, then what do you want?" And she had this like little smarky ass attitude. "I just want to let you know that you guys, my food was cold," and walked off.
It's
And
like,
I'm
it's like okay, what? Okay, it's like okay, what do you want, ma'am? Her? I just wanted you to put your foot in the mac and cheese, but I see that's not an option. I see you ain't gonna
back to
do
the
that
mac
for
and
me today.
Justin gets people who complain about nothing. You get sexual predators. I get thrown in Auschwitz. Like, this does not seem fucking equal.
No,
Anyway.
like Ryan's was definitely the worst. Like, yeah.
Anyway, so the second one I got here is this one. To this day, it blows my top off because I've never went out of the customer service character, but this one time I had to because this old ass fucking hag. It's about maybe 7 o'clock at night. She comes in there and she had just got back. She just left the drive-thru, okay, and she ordered a classic recipe sandwich and a small fry. Easy fucking order. And she wanted Arby sauce, so I gave her some fucking Arby sauce. Anyway, she comes into the building, and she's pissed off and all, angry and shit. By the way, let me describe her for a minute. She's a wrinkly-ass old woman with no fucking teeth. So with her yelling at me, it sounds like someone, blabbing their lips at me, for real.
Yeah.
And anyway, I said, "Can I help you?" And she's like, "Y'all fucked up." And I said, "What do you mean?" She's like, and she takes out the roast beef sandwich, and she just dumps the entire bag upside down onto the fucking table. Fries go every fucking where, right?
Oh my god.
And Arby sauce is on the counter. And keep in mind, for a classic roast beef sandwich and a small fry, we give 4 Arby sauces, which I think is plenty. And at that point, she looks at me and she goes, "That's not enough Arby sauce." I'm like, "Ma'am, did you seriously dump your entire fucking bag on my counter to tell me that I didn't give you enough Arby sauce?" She's like, "Well, I deserve more Arby sauce." I'm like, "You deserve to get the fuck out of my fucking store."
Bro, give her a break, all right? She her grandkids don't talk to her, all right? She did not like Plants vs Zombies 2. She thought it was mid. All right. Her entire day has been ruined by this slight inconvenience, and I think that's your fault.
Like, the dementia meds weren't kicking in that morning. She just had to get a bit aggressive. She was remembering the war. Like,
Anyway,
What
I
more?
remember that what was it? She's like, "So what are we gonna do about it?" I said, "I give your food back to you. You can get the hell out of here." I literally took the bag. I put the sandwich back in there. I scraped up all the fries she put on the table back in the bag and handed it to her. I said, "Get the hell out of here."
Nice, dude.
The very next day, she calls and complains about me, and I didn't get fired.
yeah, all they had to do was look at the fucking cameras and say, "Oh yeah, she was just actually fucking retarded."
I called my manager about it like the night it happened. I called him immediately, told him what the hell happened, and I took pictures of the table and the crumbs still everywhere. And he's okay, no problem. And so like I think the next day she called, she complained about it, and I think he legit just told her, "Look, I have photographic evidence. There's fries everywhere on this countertop,
Mm-hmm.
and you left the receipt here, so we know it's you."
Yeah. Sounds good to me. I that must have been before my time.
That was after. That was after you quit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was after you quit. I said that's one of the things that made me want to quit. I'm like, fuck this shit. I ain't going back to food service again, and here I am now.
Dude,
Still in food
you had the
service.
same character arc that I did.
Did I ever tell you guys about the fucking homeless guy that stayed outside the business and would like threaten people with a knife?
You told me
No.
this, yeah.
Yeah, there was a homeless guy that stayed outside the store that I worked at that basically just talked about like how vampires are organ harvesting people. And when I'd go on my lunch break, I'd like buy a sandwich for him, just sit down and like have that for like 15 minutes of entertainment. Yeah, he'd get a sandwich. Yeah, he'd get a sandwich and some company. I'd make sure he didn't shank me. Like, it was a good value. Probably the best money I ever spent was just feeding that homeless dude, because I never had any issues with him. But some of the other people that were there were like kind of dickheads to him, and so they like anytime there would be like a fucking issue, he'd like yell at them. Dude ran into the store and like started calling people homophobic slurs and shit. Had the police called on him.
Damn.
And I'm just sitting there
Oh
in the
my
back.
God.
Like, he literally like would look me dead in the eyes and just walk past me to go talk to other people and insult them. And I'm just sitting like, $5 from Sonic. I don't get shipped.
And I get a friend, and I get a friend for life.
He'll look after me whenever the homophobic vampires come around, dude.
Oh
boys.
man.
All right,
Good
let's-
stuff.
All right, let's transition to the next topic here, boys. I want to introduce
45 minutes in, we hit foot
Topic
fetishes,
3.
mac and cheese, and gas chambers. Like,
Yeah, we're
It's been a great episode so far.
so far it has been. Anyway, moving on to the next topic, boys. I want to introduce a new game show series to the podcast whenever I host. It's called Is It Real?
Is it real? Is it real?
Good enough, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, so how this show works is I'm going to ask you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys something, and you would tell me if it's real or if I made it up.
All right.
This week we're going to be discussing eBay listings. So these are found on eBay, and so I'll give you the item. I'll tell you how much it is. I'll give you a brief description of what it is, and you tell me if it is real or fake. Are you boys ready?
Yes.
sure.
Alrighty. The first item, ladies and gentlemen, is Pooping Pooch's calendar. This is
That's real.
a 12-month calendar that has every month has a picture of a dog taking a shit,
That's real.
and it's going for $14.99. Is it real or fake? Ian says real. What do you say, Ryan?
People have been into weirder shit, probably real.
Alrighty, boys, you are correct. That is indeed real.
Woo! Let's go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go a bit weirder to get me to say fake.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. We're gonna
We'll get there.
we're gonna go areas, but just in case, here's a image of it.
The 2024 edition.
That's the thing. I look back to see how far they've made these or how long they've been doing it. The earliest is 2012.
Good year.
Who,
All right.
who keeps buying them?
I'm not gonna lie. I own one.
2,720 sold.
That's
I
kinda
bought one
that-
for a YouTube video. I never used it.
Yeah,
Nice.
that means that I think there's they made like $50,000 off of this shit. So
Yeah, there's a shit ton of them. Anyway, next item, boys. We have dehydrated water. This is an item you can buy that is as described. It's a tin canister that has dehydrated water, and it is going for $15.13. Is it real or fake?
It seems a little too specific to be fake.
it's probably just gonna be an empty tin can.
You're both saying real.
Yes.
You're both correct, boys.
All right.
Oh yeah, I've seen this shit.
Yeah, there's the image for it. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's just a fucking gag gift.
It's honestly funny to me because like if you uncap the top of it, the lid on the inside says, "What were you expecting?"
Nice. Do you own one?
It even has gag gift in the fucking title, or joke prank by Witty Yeti.
Thank you, Witty Eddie, for this amazing thing.
Thank you
Anyway,
for,
boys,
for
on to the
providing
third item.
providing us content.
Anyway, on to the third item. The kids' children toy called Poopy Stick. This is literally just a wooden stick with a rubberized sculpture of shit on the top of it. It even advertises that you can throw it and it'll stick it to the wall. And it's currently going for $21.99.
That's real.
All right, you say real? Ryan, what do you say?
Mhm.
Probably true. Probably some like random fucking manufacturer thought that they could get a quick buck off of a poop joke.
Yeah.
All right, so you both say real. That is fake, boys. I made that up.
Damn it, Justin! Now I want one. I was literally on Amazon right now looking for my next Christmas present. I'm tired of you, Justin. You're always getting me hyped up, only to take the wind out of my sails.
All right, boys, on to the fourth one here. We have a rare mast-shaped tortilla chip. This is a tortilla chip that was found out of a bag. It is shaped like a hockey mask of some sorts, and it is currently going for $30.
Okay.
Is it real or fake?
I've seen similar things to this. I don't think a hockey mask one would get sold on eBay though, so I'm gonna go with fake on this one.
Granted, though, is it? These items are not sold yet. They're still advertised. So some idiot can be like, "Yeah, it's worth $30," but nobody be like, "What the fuck?"
Why are you calling me out like that? Some idiot. I have a name, Justin. Like,
It's
come
just
on,
that
dude.
hockey mask is so fucking like benign that it's not like, oh, this one's shaped like America. I can get a Patriot to get this one. This one's shaped like the fucking nuclear launch code. Some guy that named la 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 will probably fucking pick this shit up.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with real.
All right, Ian, or Ryan, what are you going with?
I'm saying no, that one's fake.
I just dropped my notebook, boys. 1 second. It is real.
All right, let's go. Oh, dude.
Buy it now for $60. That doesn't even look like a hockey mask.
Okay,
I
from
don't know.
certain angles, it kind of looks like it, and the description says that it looks like it. So I went with that.
I'm on
This is
eBay
a
right now
normal-
trying to find it.
Normal fucking tortilla. It's just a normal tortilla chip with a
That's what I'm
fucking
saying.
hole in the center.
That's I don't know.
Right,
People
Ryan. I want you
fucking
to.
weird.
I want you to squint and tilt your head. Now look at
Yeah.
it.
Gonna need to get like a hot copper wire and like stick it in my eyeball and maybe it'll fucking work.
All right, boys, on to the next one here. We have the spring. I don't know how you pronounce the wind-up male jerking off toy. This is a toy that is the shape of a man that is holding his dick. When you wind up the crank and let go, he jerks off. This toy is going for $13 on eBay. Is it real or fake?
You sound too excited with the description for it to not be real.
Dude, it's real.
Baskin'
Actually,
at
wait.
boys.
If it's not real, I'm a little concerned. Okay, that's fine.
You sounded way too like you're like, okay, so I'm gonna go into deep detail as to how bad this thing looks.
I was
like,
kind of
yeah,
hoping.
yeah, it's fucking real.
I mean, I went to extreme details with the poopy stick, and that shit was fake. Anyway,
That is true. That
moving
is
on.
true.
Kind of like the chip one, the masked one, or whatever you fucking call it. It looks like a mask to me. Anyway, this one is a seasoned Doritos ball nugget. It is just a ball of seasoning that was found in a bag of Doritos, and this particular seller is selling it for $2,000.
Fake.
No, I've seen the meme for that one. That one's real.
All right, so Ian fake, Ryan real, basking it boys. That is real.
I have never in my entire life wanted to eat anything more than I want to eat this right now.
I want to avoid it like the plague because I got hit with mustard gas, and that doesn't sound half as fucking terrible. It's like taking a bite into this and getting your lungs coated with nacho cheese dust. Like,
Okay,
Well,
but is it worth it? Is it worth it though? Then the answer is yeah.
Well, Ian, if you want it, it's there for $2,000.
All I have to do is save up, and I will be making my parents very, very disappointed in me.
you have to
I
pay
cannot
shipping
wait.
costs, too.
All right, boys, last
People-
one.
Wait.
What?
People want this. 65 people are watching this.
I know. Like when I screenshotted this, 2 had watched in the last 24 hours. It is saddening to me.
It is kind of sad.
It's terrible. Anyway, also fun fact: the shipping for this is $5.60.
They better take good care of my fucking Doritos seasoning ball nugget.
Anyway, last one here, boys. This is a Mickey Mouse erotic ball gag. As described, it is just a ball gag that has Mickey Mouse ears attached to it. Currently going for $5.99.
Excuse me. That better be real.
All right, you say real, Ryan. What do you say?
Going with real, I'm pretty sure I saw one of those at your fucking house.
What?
No, I did too, dude. I actually did too. That you like told me not to look at it. It was in the corner in the game room.
What the fuck? No.
Yeah,
it's
no,
it's fake.
no.
You can deny it all you want, but that doesn't make it fucking fake. We've seen it with
Buddy.
our own eyes.
Like I know for a fact that you are gaslighting us right now, dude.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the game show. That's the end of it.
No, wait a second. Was this whole thing
No,
just
you
an
don't-
elaborate? This whole thing was just an elaborate gaslight to get us to not believe that thing was real. The whole game show was an elaborate gaslight.
Like, this whole fucking section is set up just so you can get away with your fucking weird ass fetish. Like, what the fuck?
Just to be
I
clear,
see
we are joking. Justin is a Justin is a.
I'm
degenerate.
not. I remember it.
Okay, fine. What the fuck?
It was polka dotted.
I mean, it's kind of bringing up some memories for me too, bud.
My God. Anyway, yeah, it's fake. There you go. You're welcome, boys. The score was
All right.
4 Ryan, 4 Ian. So
All right.
congratulations to both of you. I would say you both win, but you both lose. There you go.
There's no prize.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I was expecting Ryan to win, and the prize was going to be very simply, technically, you both win the Spanky Boy corner, except the winner is the giver and the loser is the receiver. So you both win. So are you both givers?
All
at that
right,
point?
boy. We starting right now.
Buddy, stop, dude, stop. You know how much hell I've had to endure the last week with my coworkers knowing about the Spanky Boy corner. It has been hell. And come to find out that this whole thing was just so you could get me in the corner again. I don't like this podcast. I don't like this friendship. Also, why did you expect Ryan to win? There's so many layers to this. Oh my God. Justin?
I was kind of hoping for round 2.
What? You know what? On the next competition, on mine, I'm doing a competition, and I shall be the spanker, okay? I will wield the power. I will literally get one of those old, like, Nintendo Power Gloves from the 80s, and I will go ham, dude. I will go to town. Believe me. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of always being the butt of the joke.
All right, boys.
All right. Next
He's got
topic.
his-
Next topic. Okay. All right.
He's got his fucking jacket on and the pumped up kicks in the background. He's tired of being made fun of, dude.
I'm tired of being the butt of everyone's joke.
So Ian, you're telling me that I shouldn't go to school tomorrow?
Now, he wants us there personally. Like, we're the reason he's doing it. Like, why would he warn us?
Anyway, boys. Anyway, moving on. Next topic. This is a bit of a weird one. So, I personally don't like getting into YouTube drama. I think it's total bullshit. It's whatever. But there was one particular YouTuber that caught my attention, and that's all because it's all because my girlfriend showed me her. Her name is SongByrd ASMR. Now, what's the general opinion of ASMR? What do you guys feel about it?
I've never even tried to get into ASMR. Like, it just sounds fucking creepy from, like, the start of it. Like, I've seen so many images around the internet that are just, like, ASMR versions of just really weird shit. Like, your father's proud of you.
The fuck?
Like,
Yo, stay tuned next week when we upload the highlight ASMR Spanky Boy corner segment. You're going to the Spanky Boy section, aren't you? You little mac and cheese slut.
What the fuck's going
Can't wait.
on? Anyway, I noticed when she showed me her videos, it wasn't from her channel. It was from other channels making compilations of her, and they were kind of making fun of her. And I couldn't understand why. Like, she's kind of quirky, kind of weird, whatever. Some of the criticisms I feel like weren't, she didn't deserve them. Like, for instance, some Indian food, some Indian cuisines are eaten with hands, and
Yes.
they're making fun of her for eating with her hands like an animal, but yet there's another ASMR mukbanger that does the exact same thing, and no one makes fun of her. It's whatever. Anyway, what I kind of wanted to dive deep into her whole backstory to find out why people are kind of criticizing her, and it's a shit ton. It involves it involves incest,
Oh my god.
and it also
okay, this took a turn.
and it also
This took a
involves child neglect. It's a whole fucking thing here, boys. So
Holy shit.
let's
I
start
don't
out
know,
with.
incest doesn't sound very neglectful.
It's the opposite.
God damn it. Anyway, boys. So let's get to the incest first. All right. So apparently, Songbird's aunt had recently called one of her viewers or did an interview with her, and said that she's a pathological liar. She's known for lying. And one of the things that she tried to do was when she was a teenager, she had a relationship with her cousin. And when her parents found out that she was, doing the deed with her cousin, she then claimed that, no, he was raping her and, he was a bad guy in this whole situation. When the police arrived to his house, they noticed love letters that she would send to him and even flowers that she would send to him.
Mm-hmm.
So she tried to send this man to jail for no fucking reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
Already not liking her. I mean, the incest was
like-
far, but, like...
Anyway,
It's-
go on, Ian.
Just that, like, not to invalidate anything that, like, any terrible things that some people might actually go through, but it invalidates actual victims when you lie on someone's name like that.
Yeah. Anyway, though, the child neglect. So she has her ASMR channel, which is just her eating the food, and it sounds disgusting, whatever. But then she has a cooking show where she cooks food and she eats it from the camera, and she talks with her husband, kind of like a podcast, essentially. But during one of those videos, she slipped a little bit of information that a lot of people found bothering, which is her child, before the age of 7, they didn't force him to brush his teeth.
Okay.
So she claimed that, they went to the dentist, they found all these different cavities, and she goes, "Oh, we didn't know that you had to help your kids brush their teeth before they reach the age of 7. We didn't know that. We want to give him more independence."
More independent.
Excuse me.
He's 7.
He's under 7. Like, he's like 5 years old. Independence to a 5-year-old.
That's so silly.
That's redonkulous. Very, very redonkulous.
Truly, truly.
Here,
Seems
okay,
like a
here's
terrible person.
okay. Here's another little punching bag, or another thing to add to the punching bag here. Um, she has gone on Twitter. And someone has found these old tweets. I forgot like how far back they go, but she tweeted that her son was a mistake,
Whoa.
and she tweeted that she hated her husband,
Like,
and saying, and come to find out, the only reason why they're together is because of the kid.
okay.
So
This sounds like a very similar situation to a lot of fucking people's lives. Like,
I know, but it's terrifying to know that like this public figure that everybody used to love, and it's just like now she's coming out to be this horrible person. I just can't get over the fucking child neglect, honestly.
look, I'm not gonna lie to you. The whole like my child was a mistake, and I'm only with my husband because we had this child. I'm assumingly out of wedlock. Like that's a thing that a lot of people go through. Like, it's nothing to like condemn him or her for. Like, I hate my husband. We were just only together because of the child. Like, that's a thing tons and tons and tons of people go through.
Yeah, sure.
The child neglect thing is just this person was not prepared to be a parent, and like it's dumb as fuck, yeah. But like, it doesn't make her a bad person. It makes her a bad parent. Big fucking difference there. There's tons of good people who just suck at parenting.
Yeah.
Now,
and-
what is condemnable is like incestuous relationships. That's and then like accusing him of rape in order to get away from it. Like that's the issue here. Like the other shit, I'm like, all right, that's fine. Tons of people do that shit. Like it's not fine, but it's not like this isn't condemnable to me. Like this is normal shit in a ton of people's lives. People who are condemning that, like I don't know, get out more, look at like the news or talk about people's lives around you. But when it comes to, like incest and like rape allegations, that is like no, that's morally reprehensible. You're taking away from everybody around you. You're doing this already. Like, I wouldn't care as much if like she was fucking her cousin. Like, yeah, we were fucking. Like, it's gross. Like, fucking stop. But like when you try to drag his name through the fucking mud and do a rape allegation, like you're both still gross people, but one of you is doing something that should be outright illegal in my view.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of shit into it. Like, apparently, when it comes to the son or the whatever the fuck, apparently the ASMR equipment, the YouTube stuff, has taken over their life so much that even the kid can't have a childhood now because he has nowhere to play. Like, apparently, from what I've heard, the shit is in his room.
Yeah, I have issue with that. Like that's
Yeah, that's terrible.
I don't think that's child neglect. I think that's just like shitty fucking like get a bigger house and get like an office space.
Yeah.
Or like just set up in your room.
Like, she had, I guarantee before this whole teardown, she had plenty of money. She had a huge following. I mean, she could have figured out something.
I mean, the mukbang scene in general is just like there's so many like out there people. I think the biggest one that's the most obvious is Nikocado Avocado.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that Ukrainian musical prodigy who became the very, very symbol of the sin of gluttony on this earth.
Which, by the way,
Everybody just
before we go any
wants
further,
him gone.
before we go any further with him though, like, apparently from what I've seen, he's trying to do better now.
Oh yeah, he made his money and now he's trying to get back out of it, but the damage to his body is irreparable.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
I genuinely hope he's able to get back some sense of normalcy. And with everything you said, yeah, some of it is definitely, some of it's definitely justifiable. I personally don't understand people's needs to tweet out like every little thing that's going on in their lives. So some of that stuff that she said, like you said the thing earlier about, oh, like I don't like my husband, I'm only with him because of my child. That doesn't like bother me all that much. Like Ryan said, there are people in that situation, but like I it's just a personal thing for me that I don't understand why people need for other people on the internet to know that.
That's the
Yeah.
problem too, I guess I had with it the most, is the fact that she did this while her following was growing. And like, it's you have to keep your problems personal and keep them to yourself. Like,
Mhm.
if you genuinely have a problem with your spouse, you kind of have to keep it between you two. Like, take it from me. Talking out about it doesn't help anything. It just makes shit worse.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It depends on the problem. Like,
I mean,
there are
yeah,
tons
but
of
like, but this though, like, this could be solved
yeah,
with let's talk this out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. A situation like this where it's like, all right, we don't like each other. It's making the child's life worse. We're just here for the fucking YouTube channel and because the kid's there. Just get a divorce and then like get some shit together on that. Like,
Yeah.
it's that. It's like I understand where a lot of people are gonna come. I'm probably gonna get flack for this because marriage is like a sanctity and all that shit, and that you should try all like as hard as you can to keep together. But if you got together out of wedlock and you hated each other and you just like fucked one night and forgot to wrap it, and now you have a kid, and now you're like 6 years in, you're hating each other, just waiting for the day that one of you drops. Like,
Yeah.
it's hurting everybody involved. Just sign the paper, take the fucking financial hit, and then like just get the kid raised in a good environment. Like,
And just
please,
get your and
I
just
would.
get yeah, just get on with your life.
Yeah, I'd much rather have a situation where like the divorce happens and that kid has issues with like trust and relationships growing up than his or her. I don't know what sex the kid is, like growing up and seeing like because you know in that situation that if there's no love between like the mother and father in that situation, that kid is going to grow up with them constantly like bickering amongst each other. That child, like she already said that she resents the child for it. So it's just a terrible situation all around.
But anyway, uh, but hopefully moving forward, hopefully, hopefully their life gets better, or I don't know. I'm just worried with the kid. Hope everything works out for the kid. Um,
Agreed. Absolutely.
the final topic I want to talk about today, because I don't want to drag on the episode too long. So we're coming up on Halloween, and I did want to talk about this during Halloween. It makes more sense, but I have bigger plans for Halloween. So I want to discuss about my favorite director, Mr. George A. Romero.
Woo!
Now,
Right.
now before we go on, yes, if someone starts criticizing me because we're talking about the Dead films, yes, I'm aware he made more films than just the Dead series. I'm a big fan of George Romero. I love Martin. I love Monkey Shines. I love The Crazies. All that shit. Anyway, I want to discuss his Dead series first and foremost because this series really is it's the first series in a long time that actually created a new monster, and it's like the most relatively new monster in horror. Like Frankenstein was from the 1800s, Dracula even earlier than that, but zombies, the way how we imagine them today, 1960s. That's how early it was.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I just want
like,
to get. Go ahead.
it's very impressive, and like especially the modern horror landscape is filled with so many forgettable movies. So the idea that someone at some point was able to completely innovate like that is truly inspiring.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go on, because like, there was one thing I wanted to talk about when you were saying like there hasn't been much like original things
Oh.
or original monsters being made, and I disagree with that to a certain extent. But like go to whatever topic you wanted to talk about.
Oh, anyway, but with George Romero, like he is one of the, or he was. I'm sorry, he did pass away in 2017, I believe. George Romero, he was one of the last filmmakers that actually was, like, he was a filmmaker that went out and made a film. Like nowadays, the big craze is, oh, what's Marvel Studios doing? Oh, what's Disney doing? Like, we very little do we talk about the actual director and the filmmaker. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And George Romero, like, when he was around, like, his name carried a shit ton of weight.
Yeah.
And this dude, like, honestly, like, there's some directors I feel like, or some filmmakers that when they have their name in their film, I think they're just egotistic maniacs. But George Romero, in my opinion, he deserved to have his name in front of every film he made. Like, George Romero's Martin, George Romero's Day of the Dead. He deserved it. But I just want to real quick get you guys' opinion on each Dead film, at least the first three Dead films: Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead.
Okay.
You want to go first?
let
Or
me-
want me to?
I want to go first real quick because I have less to say. Unfortunately, I haven't seen them I watched them when I was like 12 and 13, and I remember loving them. I remember specific plot beats from the three of them. I probably can't go too into detail in. I will say that it is. I was always very, very impressed by like the vibe and the atmosphere of the movies just in general. Which one's the one that starts with the guy and his like girlfriend and the named Barbara in the cemetery?
That's Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I think this is the first one.
Okay, that scene stuck with me for a long time, and with it being so old, I imagine it stuck with people who saw it like all those years ago. It's an extremely great opening scene. The movies excel in a claustrophobic feeling. There's one that takes place in a mall, and I loved that one.
Dawn of the Dead.
Bro, I loved that. Like my favorite types of stories and movies are definitely bottle movies that take place in single locations, and it started with that movie. I remember watching it and having like this small, tightly knit group of characters having like 70% of the movie, 75% of it take place in just one mall. I loved it, and then that made me like Die Hard more because it's all in a hotel. Made me like Reservoir Dogs more because it all takes place in one location. I just love that stuff, and that started with George A. Romero. Because when you think about movies like that, you think you want like an epic, sprawling story with tons of different locations. But like he knew that you can only really create that claustrophobic, terrifying feeling with one location, and especially being such a recognizable location as being a mall.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I still think to this day, Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead, by the way, because I know people are gonna get confused by the remake. You know, the original from the 1970s probably has the best opening to a film.
Yeah.
Or one of the best at least, because like it opens up right to the get-go. Like Francine is in the news station, all hell's breaking loose. The news is covering what's going on, and it throws you right into the fucking story. I love it.
Yeah. That's definitely the way to go sometimes. Just no build up, get you like really hyped up from the beginning.
When it comes to my perspective on the films, it's been, like you said, quite a while since I've seen them, but most of my memories come from Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Living Dead. Night was a very, very like not trademark. Like, what's the like? Basically, it was a turning point in filmmaking. Mostly due to the fact that he didn't properly copyright it, and so it spawned like the entire zombie genre. Whereas films like Alien, Predator, and such had to stay within the franchise itself instead of being like a wide genre of films in that regard. When it comes to that, like, obviously you had the black and white film style, which was used expertly. They had the interesting monsters with the original. I think they were called ghouls at first, and then they kind of became zombies later on.
Yeah, they were called ghouls, and I forgot what it was, but even George Romero says they're not zombies, they're ghouls. You know, because when he thinks of zombies, you think of Planet Nine from Outer Space. The zombies are people that are dead, they're being controlled by aliens. That's a zombie.
Yeah, so, like there's even like folklores in certain cultures that like regard a zombie in that way as being something that is being controlled by a like mind control device. So Romero created
Haiti,
all
I'm
of the
pretty sure.
tropes we know. What's that?
I'm pretty sure it's Haiti.
Okay, yeah. I've definitely I watched a video about that one time. But yeah, he definitely created a lot of the tropes that we know that got borrowed by hundreds of storytellers. I mean, if we didn't have George A. Romero, then Robert Kirkman couldn't have written The Walking Dead.
Like, zombie media is one of my favorite like media subgenres, just because it's so wide and varied. It started obviously with the Of the Dead films. I don't think it peaked there personally. I think that like Telltale's The Walking Dead series are really high up there.
Yes.
Video games obviously have them massively throughout, but the original film, Night of the Living Dead, like it was just, there's so many interesting character moments throughout it, and just figuring out how these things worked throughout the movie, especially for audiences back then who obviously have no idea what a zombie is, would have been incredibly interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
like I feel just real quick from a modern audience's like watching it and you know so much about zombies. Like most zombie stories now, they're like the characters know they have to stab it in the brain. They know that they were real people at some point. They know that if they eat them, they get infected. If they bite them, they get infected. like with Romero, that's part of the fun is that like back then there was no knowledge of it, so any of the characters are going into it blind and they have no idea how to deal with the situation.
In my opinion, I think what adds to George Romero's like majesty to his filmmaking is that with the Dead series, every film has a little bit of social commentary in the background. And honestly, if you focus more on that, the zombies are just a backdrop to a bigger story. Do you see what I'm saying?
I absolutely agree.
Like for instance, in Night of the Living Dead, like to put it in his words, he says that Night of the Living Dead is a situation where all hell is breaking loose. The world is facing a catastrophic event, and people are still fighting over upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, totally.
And in Dawn of the Dead, the social commentary in that one is, well, there's a few social commentaries. It's, the zombies are kind of, being compared to real people nowadays in malls walking around aimlessly. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest ones.
I had forgotten about that whole commentary. That's awesome.
But anyway, the biggest picture though is that you know how like there's a lot of bad shit going in the world right now, like in other countries, people being beheaded and all this kind of dumb shit. In Dawn of the Dead, at the very end, the main characters surround themselves with all this materialistic stuff to make them feel more like at home. But all they're doing is they're just hiding themselves from the real fact of what's happening outside the mall.
True.
Yeah.
And in Day of the Dead, Day of the Dead, in my opinion, is personally one of my favorites of George Romero. It's tied with Dawn. And in Day, they all hide underground, and they're all trying to find a way how to get out of this situation that they're in. And the whole plotline to this one is that even though it's a very small group of people, there's no one way that anyone's going to agree with one another. There's always going to be conflict, no matter what you do.
Yeah, even at the end of the world.
And another big thing that he mentions in Day of the Dead is that, there's a scene where, this mine they're in is a time capsule. Like, it holds government documents. It holds black and white copies of your favorite films, all that kind of stuff. And even in the film, they're kind of like, why are you making all these records of how to kill these zombies? Why are you doing all these researches? It's not going to fucking matter.
I guess like, because, well, one part about that is people, even when faced with terrible things, we'll just push it to the back of our mind and think that things will work out in the end.
Absolutely, like, because the whole point is like the big monologue of the story is like, or at the film is, Flyboy in this film. I forgot his actual name, but he kind of tells Sarah that like, you keep on these documents and these records and whatnot, and he's like, listen, what's the point of figuring this shit out?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're in it. Let's just deal with it.
All right, so clearly I missed all of this like awesome writing and little bits of like social commentary with my little imbecile 12-year-old brain. So I'm gonna need to come over to your house in October and check this trilogy out.
Hell, we can have a watching party, all three of us. We could.
Sure. Like, it's been quite a while since I've seen it, and it sounds like the ending to Dawn of the Dead is very like Brave New World-esque. Like, you will own nothing and you will be happy because you'll be too distracted with everything else to, like, with all the little gadgets and like consumerist products that you'll just try to forget about the world is going to hell outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it sounds like Day of the Dead is very, very nihilistic in certain ways, because like I haven't. It's been a while since I've watched them, like I said, and so I'm just gonna take your word at it. It sounds very much like both almost nihilistic and utilitarian. Like, yeah, we can't fix it, so we just gotta like, live with it.
In a way, like, I think I may have gone across wrong about this. It's just that, like, for instance, we live in a society where we have Republican and Democrat. We always fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these big main issues that we're trying to solve together, and we just can't figure out a way how to solve it. Now, take that into a zombie as the problem, and the people is literally just like 4 military men and 4 scientists. You still can't figure out a solution. They're still bickering and fighting, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
It's pretty much showing off that, it's also kind of a way of showing that the people that we should be putting our trust in, which in this case is the military, isn't helping us. It's making the shit worse.
I got you. Like I said, should we make it like one big watch party where we watch all 3 in one day, or separated?
I'd say we probably like watch all 3 in a row, but like take breaks in between to like discuss them. We could put that up on somewhere. I don't know.
We
Sounds
could
good to
probably
me.
just do a little video here on the YouTube channel of us like discussing what we thought about each film after we get done watching it.
Yeah, sure. Or maybe just make it like a little section in one of the podcasts. Regardless, I'm definitely interested now. Like I said, I liked
We're gonna
the,
we're
the
gonna
things
pretend that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
just that I'm now learning that the things that I like about movies when I was younger is not the things that I like about them now, and it's cool to watch and with a new mindset.
And by the way, like we're going to mention, or we're gonna try to forget that Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and Survival of the Dead exist. That those don't exist to me. Well, Land of the Dead's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but Diary of the Dead can go fuck itself.
Damn, is that bad?
Okay, to put in perspective, because we're short on time here, Diary of the Dead. Take Blair Witch Project, try to make it, so action-packed that the camera somehow catches all the shit that goes down, and not only that, but add music.
That feels like it would ruin everything that I like about found footage movies.
Exactly. Like it tries to be a found footage film, but it goes in the wrong direction. Really bad.
I have seen action-packed, like found footage films that do it really well, like Rec 2, and the third one. The entirety of that trilogy is really, really good.
Never checked it out.
It's a Spanish film. I think the American version of it is Quarantine, which is somewhat interesting. But I'd recommend just checking out the .rec versions. And then there's As Above, So Below, which is a found footage film that isn't as action-packed as .rec, but still has a decent amount in it and is really, really good.
Well,
Personally, my favorite found footage film.
Well, the issue with Diary of the Dead is that, like, in some found footage films, like, a big event will happen. And, like, you won't see it happen, but you'll be told that it did happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay for that to happen sometimes. Like, maybe sometimes show it off, sometimes don't. But in Diary of the Dead, every big plot point that happens in the film is shown to you directly through the lens of this handheld camera. And it shouldn't. Like, it tries to be a found footage film, but it tries really hard to be a cinematic film. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so in general cinematic film, you have, like, the general rule that is show, don't tell. Whereas with found footage, there's times where it would literally break the immersion to show and not tell.
Exactly.
Because that singular person cannot be there for every single event. Or else, like, it just ends up being like, dude, just do something!
Knowing that, but there's music in Diary of the Dead. Like, there's music like rock tracks and other kind of shit. And their explanation...
So, it looks like someone, like, sat down and edited it.
Listen, I shit you not, okay? I'm spoiling a little bit. If you're listening, just fuck off. Anyway, here's a spoiler for this. At the end, the person who's editing it, they show who edits it, right?
Wait,
And
why
she
don't
mentions...
why don't we just watch it?
Oh my god.
Tell me.
It's so fucking ridiculous. She explains the reason why she put the music in there is to add quote-unquote effect to the film.
Oh my god.
What?
You literally watched all your friends die, and you watched it while you're editing it, and you're like, this music should go here, this music should go here.
This is a banger part for Imagine Dragons.
Dude, imagine if we were doing the podcast. I'm just chilling. I hear like someone come into both of you guys' rooms, and like swat you, just like shoot you in the back of the head. And my first thought is, man, I've still got to upload this episode, and I really, really want to put Ballroom Blitz by The Sweet in that part. I really feel like I could accent their deaths.
Or better yet, like Ryan, takes you back to the Spanky Boy corner, and I'm just like, you know what? This needs some music, and I put on fucking Putting on the Ritz by Taco.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Put nothing on the Ritz. That's a highlight right there, dude. All right, we're nearing an hour and a half here. That was a great episode, probably the best one so far.
Well, I appreciate you guys thinking that. All right, Ryan or Ian said that. Ryan, he may be hiding his true feelings for this episode. I'm not sure.
No, I fucking hated it. You're washed up, fucking trash.
He didn't even spit. He grunted. He went.
there were some topics I want to talk about, but they seemed a little too serious for this very lighthearted conversation we were having.
Until the middle. Dude, the first 2 topics were goofy. The last 2 were pretty fun and goofy. The middle one was just like, oh, yeah, man, that's terrible.
That's got awful, man.
That's just bad. It's like foot in the mac and cheese, got gassed at my job, this lady beats her kid. So it was like, what?
Yeah, I don't want to include these issues because it might be a little bit, might give people some whiplash or, like, what the fuck was that?
In case you're
So,
wondering.
yeah, let's talk about gas chambers, foot mac and cheese, and this woman committed incest and, like, lied about rape.
In
It
case
just
you-
it randomly became an episode of Game of Thrones.
Anyway, no.
Wild.
In case you're wondering, no, the topic was televangelist, and I don't think it would fit well in this episode.
Oh,
so.
I'm excited for that next time. Keep that in your back pocket, dude.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do the next episode. We're done with this one though. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, please consider following us on your streaming service you listen to us on. If you're on YouTube, could you please subscribe? I need to feed my family.
I am a child and I have a family that feeds me, but I would like money as well.
Pay me or I'm robbing them.
All right. So
There is no meme. This is just a threat.
Also, mac and cheese guy, if you're out there, you don't have to subscribe. I would prefer if like you didn't hear my voice, because I just personally feel as if like all it needs is like you've put it out of your mind, and all you need is just to hear my voice one time, and you're like, oh my god, my soulmate, and I just don't feel
I can
about you that way.
smell the sock lint.
The socklet. Oh man, I'll see you guys.
Anyway, y'all, you guys have a nice day. Everyone have a nice night. Yada yada yada. And once you're done listening to this, go call your mom. Okay, call somebody.
Go call your mom, dude. Come on.
The fact you listened to us for this long and you thought it was funny, call somebody. You need some help.